Good morning, friends. I am super excited because today we have this Aetherdrift Play Booster Box. I thought it would be a whole lot of fun to try to build an entire commander deck strictly from what we have in this box. So thank you to Wizards of the Coast for sending me this as part of the MTG Ambassador program. I was also an ambassador for MTG Innistrad Remastered, so that was super fun. And for that play box, we did a boxing league. So we put together a whole deck just from the one box to be able to be doing a boxing league with some of the other ambassadors. That was a whole lot of fun. So from that idea, I thought, why not just go ahead and see if we can build our own commander deck strictly from this. I thought this would be good, as well as going to my pre-release event, because I have said it once, I've said it twice, I've said it 3 times. I've said it a lot of times that I am not a artifact player or vehicles. I steer clear of both of those other than a Soul Ring. So the fact that this set is based completely around those, I thought would only make me a better Magic player. We are going to save our box topper for last, so we'll save it over there. So I thought that might as well go ahead and get some practice in by challenging myself to do things that I'm not used to doing, which is playing artifacts, playing vehicles, and this is literally the perfect set to do that. So if you find yourself in the same position as I hope that you are able to challenge yourself to be a better Magic player. Let's see what we got. We're going to put all of the rares in one pile. These are in the back, I suppose. There we go. A Possession Engine, Foil Mole. Okay, I actually need to organize a little bit. How am I doing this? Let me figure this out. Okay, I think I figured out how I'm going to do it. We're going to go multicolored, Wooburg, and then the rares and mythics will be at the bottom here. Colorless are at the bottom. I don't know about colorless, but we are going to really be looking for that legendary creature. There are only a few multicolored legendary creatures in this set. They're specifically 3 colored creatures. Other than the Gear Hulks are really cool and they are dual colored. We got Dragonautics Engineer and a land. Let's go. All right, I actually have to organize. Gosh. Okay, 3rd time's a charm. Let's see if we can do this. Yeah, so I'm really excited about this set. It seems really good for limited. It seems really strong for Commander as well. I think there's really good stuff on both sides. So the fact that we get options is nice. We know how I feel about options. Still haven't hit that legendary. There we go. Winter Cursed Rider. So I am going to keep my legendaries off on a corner, I suppose. Just all of the rares and mythics will go in one pile. Legendaries will be in another. All right. Got a foil land. Fun. Okay. So, there's some stuff I'm really excited about. I know all of the ooze players, you got that thing that makes everything an ooze. Those are pretty good. There is that, a blue enchantment. What is it? What's it called? Pretty much a slow Seedborn Muse. Quag Feast rare. And a land, let's go. And the adorable token that has the little mouse right there. Love it so much. So thank you, Elephant Token. That will be the only thing I ever use for Generous Gift anymore. Obviously, this set is missing some staple things for Commander. We did not get anything like a Soul Ring or Arcane Signet. So possibly going to splash some staples in here like that to make our deck make sense. Oh. It goes up there. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll go on over to Moxfield after this. Riverchurn Monument rare. A Repurposing Bay foil rare. I am really excited to see, though, a lot of things in here. They're kind of crazy. They kind of are crazy. There's a lot to learn, but we did get this to help us with our archetypes, to help us understand. So let me just go ahead and get through the rest of these packs, and then we'll take a look at everything together. Radiant Lotus. Let's go. Special guest. Cavalier of Dawn. Oh, I want these special guests so bad. I'm going to put that off on the side as well because I'm also very pumped about that. Wow. Wow, Subsunyan. That is so nice. All right, this is the one I was talking about earlier. Unstoppable Plan. It's 2 and a blue enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, untap all non-land permanents you control. So it's a slow Seedborn use. We don't get to untap everything. Our lands are still tapped, but hopefully we'll have some kind of shenanigans for helping that later on. Wow, we got the Aether Spark. Man, that is a difficult pull. I am so pumped we got that. In the same box as a Radiant Lotus and a special guest and Chandra. Let's go. What? That's so exciting. Man, okay, 2 more packs. So let's just go ahead and slow it down for these last 2 packs. I think we have only gotten 1 3-colored legendary creature. So honestly, I'm not even going to look at the goodness that we have in these other ones because I need as many options as possible to make sure that we have the ability to use as many cards as possible. So I think we're going to be doing that. Who was it? I think she was Naya. Yes. Samet. The Driving Force. She is our 3-color legendary, so I'm pretty sure that's who our commander is going to be. We'll take a look at all the legendaries as well as the rares and mythics in just a second. I honestly wish that there was a 5-color creature. We have a creature that is 5-color, but it is not legendary, so that's the bummer. Would have helped a lot and made this a whole lot easier, but regardless, we're still going to have a ton of fun. So let me just clean this up really quick, and then we'll take a look together. All right, you might have thought that I forgot, and I did, but we do have our box topper. So you are only able to get the first place foiling in box toppers, which come in each box. So the play box, a collector box, as well as the finish line bundle. Those are like the gift bundles where they have the collector items in them. So those are the only places that you're able to get these gold first place foils. All right, we have a Plains and a Sunbill of Verge. Adorable. I'm really excited about these Verge lands. We are completing the Verges for the most part. But the thing that I noticed I'm super excited about is these basic artworks has loot in all of them. So he is helping us as our pathway maker, our path maker. He is finding all of the ways through the Verges. So that is super exciting. I love finding loot in all of those. So let's go ahead and break down our legendary creatures just a little bit more. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at those legendary creatures, shall we? We literally can't do anything else until we figure out what's going on with our legendaries. So first we see we have Samet, the Driving Force, as 3-colored Kaladin, Lagoran, Ovaya, For Fortune End Boss, Zahur, Glory's Past, Ketramos, that's exciting, Duretti, Subsunyan. Oh man. Ah, I would have loved to. Okay, we'll keep her on the side because she's our frog goddess and we love her so much. Winter Cursed Rider is a really good and a fun one. Bassery, Tomorrow's Champion. Medicant Core Guidelight. Tyrox, this Saurid Tyrant. Tarian, World Tyrant. Calyxion. Calyxion? The Hunger Tyrant. Calorna, you know, she's the octopus, vanilla legendary. So we got her. Also the Dawn Tyrant. So really billings out, and Gonti as well. So honestly, a lot of fun things. I think if Summit didn't work out for us, I would be really excited about, well, first of all, Subsunyan, because literally who doesn't want a Semic goddess going on? So that's amazing. Yeah, love the thick god mommy right there. But anyways, we also have some Orzhov really fun things that I would be pumped to do. We got Gonti we could throw in there. So for all of our black spells, I think that would be a really fun way to go. But honestly, we need as many options as possible. We're trying to build a 100 card singleton deck for Commander, which means we need options. So I think we have to go Samut here for 3-color shenanigans. So I'm just going to go ahead and not even look at these piles. I'm literally going to put them off on the side so that I don't get jealous about what's going on in there. So let me clean up and then we'll really get into the nitty gritty. I suppose for the sake of this box, we should just take a look at our rares and mythics that we pulled, though. I'll keep all the ones for our Samut deck off on the side, like this Lumbering World Dragon, Gas Guzzler, Unstoppable Plan. I'm super pumped about that. It's going to be really fun. A Burnout Bastronaut, Blood Gas Rude Rider, Riverturn Monument, Spectacular Pile Up, a Boom Mobile, a Gonosaur Rex, Marketback Walker, District Mascot, yes, the Mindspring Merfolk Rude Rider, Full Throttle, Skyseer's Chariot, Repurposing Bay, Riverturn Monument, Quag Feast, Dragonautics Engineer, Possession Engine, a Muruganda Raceway, and a Wastewood Verge with, of course, our first place foiling Sunbillow Verge. So we got Loot right there swinging through, and then he's riding on over there. So unfortunately we won't be able to use those rares and mythics. Hopefully these will come in handy. Let's go ahead and check out Samut. So she is the Driving Force, a 4/5 legendary, 3 red, green, white, with First Strike, Vigilance, and Haste. So that's really exciting. That's gonna be really, really fun. Start your engines. If you have no speed, it starts at 1. It increases once each of your turns when an opponent loses life. The max speed is 4, and once you have max speed, you get to do the other fun stuff. So for her, for example, other creatures you control get +X +0, where X is your speed. So when we have max speed, everything will get +4 +0, which will be super fun. And non-creature spells we cast cost X less, where X is our speed. So hopefully we're able to get to max speed quickly so that our spells can cost 4 less. How insane is that? Obviously, that bottom part is going to be the thing that is most annoying to our opponents. They're going to try to get her off the board to reset that. So hopefully we're able to keep her kind of protected because it is a beefy CMC of 6. So I'm used to 7 costing CMC creatures as my commander, so that'll be no big thing. But it'll definitely need some upgrades to help us ensure that we have the mana to bring that out, because I think a lot of the mana fixing in this set actually is coming from, I saw a lot of like mana dorks and type mana dork things in blue, and we're not doing blue, so I'm a little nervous about that, but we are running green, so hopefully there's some fun stuff in there. Let me go ahead and organize by creatures, artifact, enchantment, instant sorceries, and then we'll take a little bit closer look at our creatures first, because that's where the beef of our commander deck is going to be. So let me go ahead and do that. All right, this deck just about built itself. I say that because obviously with opening play packs, these are all of the duplicates that we had from dividing out our creatures, enchantments, artifacts, instant sorceries, and actually planeswalkers. So that's really exciting. But these were all the duplicates. So obviously taking those out, which means for a 100 card deck, we are looking at pretty good. These are all of our creatures. We got so much going on. That's definitely where we want to start. The majority of our deck is going to be creature focused. Our spells will cost X less when we have any kind of speed, so that's going to be really good. Obviously, there's a lot of artifact creatures. I tried to put those in the creature pile as well. I did not count vehicles as creatures at all, even though technically they will become creatures for us when we crew things, but they come in as artifacts, so those are in the artifact pile. So I'm going to just scoop these up all together, and then we'll take a look at those later, because those are going to be the things that will spice up our deck for sure. But we really want to make sure that we are able to actually do fun stuff, which to me means creatures. So as we build, we are going to keep Samut in mind, the driving force. These are all of our lands, which we will take a look at later, but pretty much we're looking at, let's look at her again. Okay, so she's a first strike, vigilance, haste, 4/5. Start your engines. Other creatures control get +X+O, where X is your speed. And then non-creature spells, we control cost X less, where X is our speed. So the non-creature spells is where we're getting the help on that, so we will keep her in mind. I'm gonna go ahead and see our mana curve to see what's going on. I love this special guest. I am pumped to get that one. I also want the Angies goat. That guy is so cute. I can't even remember the ibex. I forget the first part of his name, but the ibex, he is so cute. And then I super want the zombie special guest. Also can't remember the name, I'll throw it up, but it's the same artist as Bob's Burgers, and I love Bob's Burgers, so the fact that it's the same artist is so cool. I'm super excited about that. But Cavalier of the Dawn is probably the number one I wanted to get, just because of course it's beautiful and it is a white creature spell, and I am a mono white girly, so the fact that I got this is exciting. So let me go ahead and see this mana curve, and then we'll take a look at our things a little bit closer. We're gonna have the crazy high stuff over here. All right. All right, I also obviously put in all of the foils that I could. I love my decks to be shiny and blingy and beautiful, so I went ahead and threw all of those in there. If we haven't already, I can't remember, if we haven't already looked, I'm going to pull it up. We need to check out the archetypes. I think a lot of these line up pretty well, so hopefully building this kind of three-colored deck is going to do well. Okay, so the Aetherdrift archetypes, I'm going to throw this on the board for you guys. We are going to be looking at Boros is vehicles and mounts aggro. So there's Road Rage. Keep driving forward with the Cloudspire's crew of offense to make your opponent backpedal. So we are trying to be aggressive with vehicles and mounts. Keep that in mind. Selesnya, vehicles and mounts mid-range. The Alicarian Quick Beasts have skilled pilots who will ride your mounts and vehicles across the finish line. Okay. When they say pilots, I know that they're just meaning the riders, but that makes me think that there's some kind of evasion. Hopefully in our white, we do have flyers there. Maybe there's some kind of reach going on. That will definitely help us out a lot. And then if we look at our Gruul option, it's exhaust mid-range. Burn everything in the tank to enhance the Goblin Rocketeers to impressive size. That sounds great and right up my alley. So I think our Selesnya and our Boros really lines up with the vehicles and mounts, which is pretty darn good. And then Gruul and Selesnya are lining up with the mid-range options. So honestly, this deck sounds right up my alley. I've never built a Naya deck before, so maybe this will be something super fun. Honestly, our mana curve looks amazing. This is literally perfect. We are rounding out where your highest are on the 2 and 3 drops. Literally a perfect mana curve. That's insane. So what a wonderful box. Thank you so much to this box. You guys were the best. Okay, so for our crazy guys, these are going to hopefully be our really crazy things that we get. The Dragosaur Auxiliary, a 4/4 for 4 and 2 red, flying haste. Whenever this creature attacks while saddled, it deals 2 damage to any target. Saddle is 3 as a 4/4. Hopefully he's gonna eventually get +4/+0 from our max speed from Samet, so I think this is a really good one to have. We also have this Artark Mammoth for 5/5, 4 costing 2 green. When this ETBs and whenever it attacks while saddled, create a 3/3 green elephant creature token. Of course I want to do that. Saddle is 5. That's crazy. The only way that saddle is going to work is if we have a lot of these other little things going on. So hopefully that will. Here's some reach, which will hopefully be good. It's a 6/6, 4 and 2 green dinosaur. With reach, whenever this creature enters, you gain 4 life. Cycling is 2. I love cycling. We definitely need cycling in this deck. We definitely need to keep a good reminder on what kind of card draw we have. So cycling is a card draw. When I build decks, I don't know how you build decks, but when I build EDH decks, I like to have 6 to 10 card draw, 6 to 10 ramp, 5 removal. You know, hopefully that's a little bit more depending on your type of style and what your deck is doing, but at least 5 removal. So the fact that we have cycling in here really is going to help us out with our card draw options, because we need 6 to 8 card draw and we are only limited to this box. So let's see what other fun things we have. Our 1 costings are going to be really good to help us start off. This has a lot of text going on with it. So the nesting bot for a white as a 1/1 robot. Start your engines. We definitely need that to get that max speed. When this creature dies, create a 1/1 colorless servo to have max speed. Creature gets +1/+0. So it has a death trigger, which is really nice. Also going to be something that will easily help us saddle. So I'm going to want a lot of these 1 costing and 2 costing creatures, because they're going to hopefully just be things that help us to saddle other stuff. I've never saddled before. I was really nervous about saddles and mounts in Thunder Junction, so I haven't tried it. So we're just doing literally all of the new stuff here, which is crazy. Dynamic Diver, a red 1/1 Goblin Pilot. When this creature saddles, mounts and crews vehicles as though its power were 2 or greater. So that's helpful. That helps reduce things as well. When it dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. Sounds awesome. The Grease Wrench Goblin, a 2/1 Goblin Artificer for a red. Exhaust 2 and a red. Discard up to 2 cards, then draw that many cards. Put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Love +1/+1 counters. That makes me feel comfortable. Gives me confidence. But also the card draw again. So we have 2 accounts of card draw at this moment. Murgonding Mako, the Shark Pirate. Marauding. Wow, words be wording. Marauding Mako. Whenever you discard 1 or more cards, put that many +1/+1 counters on this creature. Again, cycling. 3 accounts of card draw. Cycling is going to help us get many +1 counters on that, hopefully, fingers crossed. Molt Tender for a green 1/1 Insect Druid. Tap to mill a card, or tap, exile a card from the graveyard to add 1 mana of any color. So that's going to help with ramp. That's also going to help, hopefully, maybe there might be a little recursion. I don't know. That's definitely going to be a more Golgari kind of thing. So I don't know. But it might help. It might help with shenanigans. So at least for the ramp, that'll help. Then we have the Stampeding Scurryfoot by Bloomborough Cutie Patootie. It's a little mouse, super fun. It's a 1/1 green costing mouse. Exhaust is 3 and a green to put a +1/+1 counter on this creature and create a 3/3 green elephant creature token. Perfect. So the mouse, where's that token? The mouse, I'm going to throw it up. The mouse and the elephant are best friends. I love it so much. So that's literally perfect. We're definitely going to be using that a lot. And again, more this creature as well as the tokens to help us saddle stuff, mount stuff. So it's going to be great. Basri Tomorrow's Champion is our rare. It's a 2/1 Human Knight, 1 costing plains for tap a white and it to exert Basri, creating a 1/1 white cat creature token with lifelink. Obviously, I'm a mono white girly. I love lifelink, but the thing that I'm excited about here is the token, the 1/1 white cat creature token. Cycling also for 2 and a white, which is pretty good. And then we also have when you cycle this card, cats you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. I think that would really not be applicable to this deck. That's really going to be helpful if you used him as a legendary creature for his own commander deck as a one costing commander. That's insane. So this would be a really fun commander to have. Might try that out sometime, but for us, we really care about the cycling and exerting him, creating those tokens. So we really need the tokens to help us ramp things up, to have saddles, to have mounts. I'm gonna count this out. We want around 30, 35 creatures. At the end of the day, hopefully Samet's going to do some fun stuff. So we do want quite a bit of non-creature spells in our deck because we're going to be able to play them for a lot less. So I'm going to try to find some more start your engine mechanics in here, and then we'll take a look at any cuts that I make. Okay, I think this is going to be a lot more difficult than I thought. I counted my creature spells, including the commander. I have 50 creature spells. 50. So there's going to be a lot more cuts. I'm going to have to take a look at that. But starting out for a purely Aetherdrift only deck, I'm happy with our non-creature spells. These are the cuts. These are the maybes. Let's take a look. Rise from the Wreck is really fun. Return up to one target creature card, up to one target mount card, up to one target vehicle card, and up to one target creature card with no ability from your graveyard to your hand. It only costs 2 and a green, so unlimited. This is going to be crazy, especially for mill decks. So that's really good. I think it would be really fun in this deck. I just took it out because I have so many cuts I already have to make, and I'm not thrilled about it. So we're saying goodbye to the Rise from the Wreck. This vehicle, the Earth Rumbler, it has Vigilance Trample as a 7/6, so it's really good. Exile an artifact or a creature card from your graveyard. This becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. Crew for 3 as a 4 costing green. Honestly, it's really good. The Earth Rumbler is a strong card. I just have so much that I already have to, I don't know, it's going in the maybe. It's going in the maybe, I don't know. I have so much I have to cut, I just can't figure it out. The White Wheel enchantments is an aura. Enchant a creature or vehicle with Start Your Engine. So that would be really nice in this deck, especially as a 1 cost. Permanence, enchanted permanent gets +1/+1 and gains Vigilance. Vigilance, like I said, is going to be essential in crew decks, mounts, saddles, all of that. So the Vigilance is really nice, and at max speed, you may cast this card from your graveyard. I have other stuff in here that gives all permanents I control Vigilance, so I cut this because while it's really strong, it only helps with 1 creature, and I need to focus on all of them. Whenever one or more artifact or creature card leave my graveyard, I gain 1 life. Really strong card, it's just not right for this deck. I'm not doing mill. Whenever enchantment enters mill 4 cards, you may put an artifact creature or a land card from among the milled cards into your hand. Again, really fun card. The Dredger's Insight and Rise from the Wreck would be perfect together. So run those together if you're doing any kind of mill thing. It's just not right for this deck, so I cut those. The maybes. We already looked at the Earth Rumbler. We understand that. Pedal to the Metal is an X costing red instant where target creature gets +X/+O and gains first strike until end of turn. This would be really good removal, especially really good player removal. I thought the way that I would play this the most in this deck would be if someone decides not to block something. Samet hopefully is going to give it +X already, and then I'm going to play this to give it even more +X something, so hopefully doing a butt ton of damage to something. But for a once off instant, I just didn't think it would be worth it when I have to make so many other cuts. So it's really fun, but it's a maybe, but it does count as removal, which I definitely need. So we're keeping it in the maybe because if I need more removal, I'm going to throw this in there. Here's an artifact vehicle, Spire Mech Cycle, for a 4 and a red as a 5/4 with haste. Exhaust is to tap another untapped mount or vehicle I control. This vehicle becomes an artifact creature and put a +1/+1 counter on it for each mount and or vehicle I control other than this vehicle. The crew is 2, so it's not bad. Honestly, it's really great, and especially for haste and this kind of a deck is good, but I just have a lot of 50 other creatures that I think would be better. I really like Roadside Assistance as an aura. Enchant creature or vehicle. When it enters, create a 1/1 colorless pilot creature token with this creature saddles, mounts, and crews vehicles as though its power were 2 or greater. So helping us out there. An enchanted permanent gets +1/+1 and lifelink. Lifelink is like music to my ears, and I almost threw it in there because I thought that would be perfect and help me feel more confident. However, I am sinking. Oh, okay, there we go. It's just not right. It's just not right, and I got romanticized by the lifelink. So I'm just being smart and sticking to my guns and got rid of it. But it is in the maybe pile because I just don't know. Obviously, Radiant Lotus needs to be in this deck. I don't know that it needs to be in this deck. It's really good. I just need ramp. I think I threw it in here because we don't have enough ramp from the Aetherdrift only. So at the end of the day, it gives us ramp options. And we do have a ton of vehicles that technically count as artifacts. So yeah, it needs to be in here. It needs to be in here. Monument to Endurance is really good if I am cycling. If I'm able to discard stuff, whenever you discard a card, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. So it triggers more than once if you're discarding multiple times. You can either draw a card, create a treasure token, or each opponent loses 3 life. So it can definitely come in handy. It's only cost 3. So I think it's really strong, especially with upgrades to this deck. That would be insane. So really excited about both of those. I just need more cycling. We need our upgrades is going to be essential for that to pop off for the cycling. Aether Spark, again, ramp. I need ramp, and obviously the Aether Spark is the chase card in this set. It's a legendary artifact planeswalker where it costs 4 to get out and it starts at a 4. As long as the Aether Spark is attached to a creature, it can't be attacked and has whenever equipped creature deals combat damage during your turn, put that many loyalty counters on the Aether Spark. So hopefully this neg 10 isn't going to be crazy and we're able to bump that up a lot, especially because my deck is focusing on bumping things up, making things even more strong. So we're hopefully getting a lot of counters on this Aether Spark. +1, attach the Aether Spark up to 1 target creature I control and put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. So that's really nice. Neg 5 to draw 2 cards. So this card not only gives us the ramp that we need for the neg 10 of adding 10 mana of any one color, but we can also draw cards off of this. This is essential to the deck. Honestly, a really strong card anywhere in any deck at all. Literally put this wherever you can. But it's essential. It's essential here. So thank you, Mana Gods. You're a real one for giving us these 3. That's crazy. Chandra just happens to work out in this deck. At the beginning of combat on my turn, choose up to 1 target vehicle I control, and until the end of turn, it becomes an artifact creature and gains haste. So we're able to give it haste and do the damage, do all of the fun stuff. So thank you, Chandra. She starts at a 4. +2, you may sacrifice an artifact or discard a card. If you draw a card. Again, we need card draw. We need card draw. We're definitely getting up to like the 8 types of card draw, I think, with all of our cycling, counting that, counting this. So we're definitely bumping up our card draw. We have quite a bit of ramp. We really are needing to focus on removal at this point. But we can also do the 0 ability for creating a 3/2 colorless vehicle artifact token with crew 1, so not bad. If we need things to mount, if we need creatures to help us build back out, if someone board wipes us, we have the 0 ability there to hopefully help out a little bit. The next 7 emblem is whenever an artifact I control enters, it deals 3 damage to any target. The emblem is dealing the damage. So hopefully that's going to be a bit of removal for us. Obviously in Commander, as the game goes on, people are getting really scary stuff out there. So doing 3 damage isn't going to be that crazy, but hopefully we're just able to do to any target. So we can do player removal this way. We can get rid of their tiny things. We can do all kinds of damage. So hopefully that's going to be crazy. I have some really fun upgrades in mind that would make that even crazier. But for where it is, I think that's a really good start. We have quite a bit of artifact creatures here. Not artifact creatures, vehicles, which will become creatures. So that's exciting. But let me count this up and see where we're landing because we definitely have way too many spells. So we only can do 100 cards. How are we going to do this? How are we going to do this? Let's figure it out. I don't know what we're going to do. We're at... We're at 81 spells. 81! That's not enough land. Oh my gosh. Okay, 50 creatures, 81 spells total. So I think we're just going to go to moxfield. Probably make some more cuts, but we'll take a look together. So, fingers crossed. Okay, so the thing is, While I was putting this into moxfield, I realized that I picked up my Sunbella Verge pile for that pretty shenanigans to add in, and there was a fat stack of rares that I just completely forgot about. So it wouldn't be true deck building if we didn't have something like that where we found a stack of cards that would also be good in our deck. So I guess we're just here for the real life shenanigans, but this is what we got going on. I looked through it and this is what I pulled off to the side. So we have even more cuts. It's going to be wild. But Skyseer's Chariot is a maybe. It's a maybe. Activate abilities of the sources of the chosen name cost 2 more to activate. So it's not removal, but it would help against opponents' things, making them be annoying. So anyways, the Burnout Bastronaut is a fun 1/1 menace. Start your engines. It's really nice for the start your engine thing. When it has max speed, it has double strike. I don't really know that matters for this deck because it really exhaust would be able to put plus and plus encounters on this with other exhaust triggers, so I don't think that this works into this deck. So I'm actually going to put that off on the side as well. Lumbering World Wagon, awesome ad. Spectacular pile up. We need a board wipe. Gonosaur Rex, trample, and cycling. So automatic, yes. And then full throttle, giving us all the combat phases, of course, for Sama, because we are trying at the end of the day to burn people and wipe them out. So that's, I think, a good win con for us. So I'm going to add these in and make some more cuts. Wish me luck, friends. Wish me luck. It's just comical at this point. I also found all of our artifacts. Literally didn't look at the colorless pile in the slightest. Deck building, am I right? Am I right? Wow. All right, here's the thing. I've made a few cuts already. We've gotten stuff into moxfield, which we will take a look at when we're completely finished. But as it stands, we still need to cut 12 cards. So I thought that I'd go ahead and do that with you guys just so that we can talk through it and hopefully you can give me some ideas. Okay, so from the 12 cuts that we have, I've basically organized the rest of my creatures, because that's where the cuts lie, into their abilities. So these are just regular, whatever they're doing is doing stuff. These are saddle creatures, crew, max speed, and then cycling. So obviously I'm gonna try to keep these two in the most, just because max speed is what Samut is focusing on, giving my creatures plus X plus O, and having my non-creature spells cost X less, where that is my speed. So I need to make sure I trigger speed happening by having cards that say start your engines. So I need as many of those as possible. So we're gonna take a look at those, try to keep them all. Then we're going to take a look at the cycling, try to keep them all, because like I said, we need to have card draw, and cycling is our main source of card draw at the moment. So let's go ahead and take a look at those, and then we'll try to figure out the 12 cuts. So let's have a countdown. 12 cuts that we got to make. Nesting Bot. When it dies, create a 1/1 color servo. It starts your engine. So that's a really good chump blocker. We need that. It's a great one costing. Max speed for mana. Great ramp, definitely need that. Max speed, tap 3, exile a card from my graveyard to draw a card. This one will be a maybe, only because I do appreciate the 3/3 for a 3 costing creature, but the fact that I have to tap 3 to do the thing for a card draw, I'd rather cycle something to trigger some discard effects I have on some other creatures, rather than just drawing a card. So I'm getting more stuff. I don't know. I guess that's my puppy. I don't know if you can hear it. But anyway, so this is a maybe. This is a maybe. Might be a cut. Goblin Surveyor with a trample 3/2. We're buffing them up, so trample will be very nice and handy. Start your engines, again with the card draw. So this is pretty much the exact same thing. This is a 3/2 versus a 3/3, but this has trample. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that one in there, and we are gonna cut this guy. If we need more start your engines, I suppose we can throw them in there. We'll see where we cut up here, but we're going to keep it right now. Reach 3/4, start your engines, max speed at the beginning of your upkeep. Exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. Red does this all the time. I am going to keep this in here because it not only starts my engines with a reach as a 3/4, which I probably will need to go against evasion creatures, but being able to technically have this as a card draw by exiling that top card will help me have options as I'm playing, so I do appreciate that. Pride of the Road is a 2/5 vigilance. So the butt is pretty nice with the start your engines and max speed. At beginning of combat on your turn, target creature or vehicle you control gains double strike until end of turn. There are multiple things in here where we're giving everything trample. So if I can give something trample and double strike on top of the bump from Samet, that's going to be insane. So it's really good. And finally, we have this 3/3 flying bird warrior. So evasion, which is great. Start your engines and max speed of this creature gets +0/+1 and has vigilance. Honestly, the saving grace of this card to me is the vigilance. Flying with vigilance is perfect. I need it. The fact that it's only a 3/3 isn't great long game. So I guess that can be a maybe. Vigilance is another. Vigilance and lifelink. Those are romantic words to me in Magic the Gathering. So I definitely get schmoozed over by those words. So I'm going to put that as a maybe. That's probably where I see that. So let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sources of start your engines with start your engine focused deck, and we have 100 cards, so maybe I do need to throw this back in there. I'm gonna do that. We need 6 accounts, 7 with Samet because she also has start your engines herself, so that's really good. So now we have 7 accounts of that. Let's go ahead and look at this. Aganosaur Rex is a crazy trampler 8/8 with cycling, so automatic yes. Obviously, I really like this guy. We talked about him earlier, so he has a lot going on for us. The cycling here is nice at 2 costing. Whenever you discard 1 or more cards, put that many +1/+1 counters on this creature. So cycling to help us with the card draw, but if we get this early and we're cycling later game, this is going to be bumped up, so I really enjoy that. This one is Exhaust. I put it into the cycling pile because the ability reminds me of cycling. It's top 2 in a red. For your exhaust trigger, discarding up to 2 cards, then drawing that many cards. Put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. So these two are very similar. I suppose they both cost 1. This is a 2/1 versus a 1/1. The only downside is, I guess you would go back and forth, right? I mean, this one is exhaust, so you have to pay that, whereas this one, you only get the ability to cycle 1 time. So it's pretty good. Whenever you discard 1 or more cards, this creature deals that much damage to each opponent. Okay, we're keeping that. And whenever this creature enters, you gain 4 life with cycling. It's a big, beefy guy as a 6/6 with reach. So being able to block flyers, I think, is going to be really essential. I guess I'll put it as a maybe because we got to make 12 cuts. So we cut 1, 2. That means we need 10 more cuts. Let's look at our vehicles. Actually, this stack is ginormous. If we can make some cuts here, that'll make me feel better. I put this in here because ultimately it is a ramp. We can tap it to mill a card or tap to exile a card from a graveyard, adding 1 mana of any color. Gosh, it's a 1 costing 1/1, which I would either tap it for a mana dork or tap it to crew things and to mount things and to saddle things. So I do really like that. I'm putting this guy, and I know the elephants out here later. I just love them so much because they're friends and they're adorable and they do stuff that I really enjoy as a player. So I probably don't need those in the deck. So once I find his friend, I'll put him off on the side. We'll see how it goes. This is really nice because mounts and vehicles I control have haste, which is going to be really important in this deck. Whenever a mount you control enters, it becomes saddled until end of turn, and whenever a vehicle you control enters, it becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. So I don't have to crew it. It automatically has haste and becomes an artifact creature, so that's essential. We need that. Tap 4 in a green, look at the top 3 cards of your library, may reveal a permanent card from among them and put it into your hand, the rest on your bottom in a random order. It's a 2/2. That's a big cost. I don't know that I'd be doing that very often. I put this because it is ramp, but we're gonna nix that. We're gonna nix it. Whenever a creature saddles or mounts a crews a vehicle during your main phase, that mount or vehicle gains flying until end of turn. I don't have a lot of flyers, so to go against flyers, that would be really good. I think flying is necessary. At the beginning of your end step, untap each creature you control. Yes, please. When this creature enters, a target creature or vehicle gains a lifelink and indestructible until end of turn. I had this in here not because of the lifelink. I know what you're gonna say. I had this in here because of the indestructible. Giving something haste and indestructible, if they're blocking, that counts as removal, right? So it's gonna get removal. The lifelink is gonna help me feel better about my life total. I know life is a resource, but if my life total is up higher, then I'm more confident as a player, and that matters. So I like this. These are gonna stay over here. This is gonna be a maybe. This one's a maybe. I'm cutting these, I think, for sure. Artifact spells I cast cost at 1 less. They're also getting less down here and also getting 1 less. If I'm having only colorless spells, eventually things could be free. So I think that guy's really good. Mounts and vehicles I control get +1/+1. Super helpful. Saddle mounts and cruise vehicles as though its power were 2 or greater. So it's gonna be a maybe. Mounts and vehicles I control get +1/+1, I think is the draw of that card. So it's not amazing. It's nice, but it's not amazing. This is a rare though. Each creature, okay, this one actually would be so fun as its own commander. If you want to build a mono green deck from this, I highly recommend Ovaya. She also has a beautiful, I'll throw it up right here, beautiful borderless treatment. So this one is so good. She's a 1/2/3 costing green human artificer. Each creature that's attacking one of my opponents has trample. I can tap a green and her, just 1 green and her, and I may put a creature or a vehicle card from my hand onto the battlefield. If I put an artifact on the battlefield this way, put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. That's insane. You can put any creature for 1 mana. It's better than Monster Manual. It's so good. I love this card. Wow. That'd be such a fun commander on its own. Whenever this creature saddles or mounts or crews a vehicle during my main phase, that vehicle or mount gets +2/+0 and gains trample until end of turn. Trample is going to be necessary in this deck because so many things are small creatures. Yes, they're getting buffs. The only way the buff matters is if they have trample. So we need to give trample. I guess this guy has to be a maybe. It's a 9/7, so I thought it would be kind of necessary because I know this deck is going to go against other stuff that's really scary. We'll say it's a maybe. Duretti's power is equal to the greatest mana value among artifacts I control. We do have Radiant Lotus, who's an artifact costing 6, so at the very least it could be a 6/5. Whenever it enters or attacks, choose target artifact card in my graveyard. I may sacrifice an artifact. If I do, return the chosen card to the battlefield. Duretti's really good. I think I would rather see other things in play. So even though this is a rare, it's a maybe. It is really strong. Y'all are going to come at me, I know, but I don't know. I'm not feeling it. 4 or 5 reach, discard a card, draw a card. Remember, we have discard abilities and cycling is necessary, and we need card draw. Activated only as a sorcery and once each turn. And of course, Cavalier of Dawn. No way in the world am I cutting that. Nuh-uh, never. It's a 4/6 vigilance. Whenever a creature enters, destroy up to 1 target non-land permanent. Its controller creates a 3/3 colorless golem artifact creature token. And whenever the creature dies, this creature, Cavalier of Dawn, dies, return target artifact or enchantment card from my graveyard to my hand. So if you get rid of my Aether Spark, if you get rid of my Radiant Lotus, or what in the world ever else, and I want it back, I can get it. So not a lot of recursion, but honestly, anything I can get would be helpful. So we're going to keep that. Okay, we're feeling good. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Only 4 more cuts and 2 more piles. Can we do it? So I know where is it? This guy. Right? Well, this is also creating the elephant, I guess. So in my head, they go together. Whenever this creature enters and whenever it attacks while saddled, create a 3/3 green elephant creature token. Saddling as 5. It is a 5/5, and I do need big, scary creatures. I did cut my dinosaur, my 9/7 dinosaur. What's the point of having creatures to saddle if there's nothing good to saddle them with? So I'll keep it. A 1/1 flyer, whenever it attacks while saddled, put +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target mounts or vehicles. Saddle's only 1, so that's amazing, and it's a flyer. This is a death touch. Death touch counts as removal, so we do need this for removal. Whenever this creature attacks while saddled, it gets +0/+3 until end of turn. Saddling is only 2, so saddling would be making it a 2/4. Ultimately, the plus X here could make it a 6/4 with Death Touch. 6/4 with Death Touch. I'm killing your creature. Mine's living. I'm going to keep that. Whenever this creature attacks while saddled, untap it and put a +1/+1 counter on it. It saddles only 1, but it's not necessary. Whenever this creature attacks while saddled, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn. It's a 4/4, making it a 6/6. Saddles only 1. It's a Vigilance. So 4/4 Vigilance is good. 6/6 Vigilance is great. 10/6 Vigilance is perfect. Love that. Love that. Whenever this creature attacks while saddled, it gains indestructible until end of turn. Untap all creatures you control. 1,000,000%. Flying Haste. Whenever this creature attacks while saddled, it deals 2 damage to any target. Saddled for 3. It's a 4/4. It costs 6. I don't love the 6 cost. And only right now my spells that are non-creatures are getting reduced. So I think that's going to be a maybe. Let's look at this. Our final stack. This vehicle's power is equal to the number of lands I control. Very nice. Crew for 4, but when it enters or attacks, I may search my library for a basic land, put it onto the battlefield, tapped, and shuffle. So I'm getting ramp off of this, which is necessary, especially because we cut some of our other things. Whenever this vehicle attacks, create a treasure token. Technically, treasure tokens are helping us ramp, so we're not thinning out our library, but we are able to get mana that way. And it also counts as an artifact where things can get +X for the amount of artifacts you control, whatever. So artifact, treasure, love it. Exhaust is 3. Whenever it becomes an artifact creature, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Crew's only 1 as a 3/2. It's pretty good. I'm not obsessed with it, but I guess the treasure is its saving grace. This is a 2/3 flyer. Whenever it enters, distribute 2 +1/+1 counters among up to 2 other target vehicles and or creatures I control. Crew is 1. I like the 1 costing crew. I like it. The thing is, I want to be able to put the +1 counters on things because my creatures, I don't have a lot of big scary creatures. I really don't have a lot of big scary creatures, so I need something to go against it. When this enters, create a 1/1 Thopter artifact creature token with flying. Crew is 1. It's a 5/4. So I'm making a 1/1 flyer. This is a 2/3 flyer. I'm actually going to cut this so that I can keep this. And I think that makes it so that we have cut all of the cards we need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, I need one more cut. I don't have it in me. So fam, let's go ahead and look over at Moxfield and you will be my saving grace, finding that last and final cut. Let's look at Moxfield. Okay, we finally made it to Moxfield. Thank you so much for your patience and hanging out so far in this video. I'm really excited to say that I actually found out I had a duplicate in this. So we thought we needed to make one more cut, but I had a card in there twice, so I was able to cut that out, and we made it to 100 cards. So let's check this out. We have Samut, the driving force, as our Naya commander. She is a 4/5 human warrior cleric with first strike, vigilance, and haste. Again, she has start your engine, so we're really trying to focus in on that mechanic, making sure we have max speed of 4 because other creatures we control get +X/+O until end of turn, where X is not until end of turn. They literally just get +X/+O where X is our power. So all of the time they get +X/+O, and if it's 4 at max speed, they'll get +4/+O. Also, non-creature spells we cast cost X less to cast, where X is our speed. So again, we want that max speed. We want to make sure that triggers. First of all, it's triggering from her. She has start your engine, so that's awesome. But let's take a look. Let's take a look. So we have creatures at 27 types of creatures. We have 5 sorceries, 12 instants, 18 artifacts, 4 enchantments, and 32 lands. Now, the reason that this got divided the way it did is because I play creature heavy decks. So I like to have 30, 35 creatures. This has 27, which is still a lot for a lot of us. But honestly, if we're taking a look at those artifacts, that's where all of our vehicles are living. So our vehicles can also become creatures. So even though it's not making me feel really comfortable with that smaller amount of creatures, I need to remind myself that I do have vehicles that can crew into creatures. So I'm going to have a lot of fun there. I'm also really excited about some of these sorceries. like Full Throttle. So let's take a look at Full Throttle. It is 4 costing, 2 red, so 6 CMC. It's pretty beefy, but after this main phase, there are 2 additional combat phases. At the beginning of each combat turn, untap all creatures that attack this turn. I don't mind that this is a sorcery because this is a win con, right? This is a win condition that hopefully I've built my board up. I'm able to have multiple combats at this point so I can fully eliminate my opponents. If they are tapped out, they're not able to do stuff. Even if they can block, there are 2 more combat phases after this one. So hopefully, even if they block the first time, even the second time, I'm able to get a ton of damage through those 3 combats, which is wild. And all my creatures get to untap if they attacked that turn. So pretty exciting. Obviously, if you have something that just entered, it's not going to be able to attack from the summoning sickness there, but still a whole lot of fun shenanigans. Let's take a look at our mana curve. I do have a decent land base there. We can see we got quite a few variety lands for some utility lands in our deck, as well as the basics that we need. So let's not look at ads. Ads are ridiculous. So if we were taking a look here, our mana curve, we have 28% green spells and then an even spread of 34 and 34 for both our red and white spells. So that's pretty good. That makes me feel good. That does mean that if we're taking a look at our lands, I do want my red and white lands to be up a bit higher than my green ones, which checks out because we got the Sunbillow Verge and the Windscarred Crag for Boros lands. I do have a Gruul land here of rugged highlands, which is really nice. The Avatar Raceway is really good. Same with Muruganda Raceway, Night Market even. Some of them, like this one, have cycling ability, so we're getting card draw if we don't need it for its specific color that we're trying to splash in because we are playing a 3-color deck. But at the end of the day, we're balancing it out quite a bit. We also did get all 3 of the lands that we needed this way. So Wild Roads, Rocky Roads, and the Country Roads. Those are all of the lands that we need to be able to tap to enter fun stuff for this themed out Aetherdrift deck. I do have, like I said, 8 plains as opposed to the 7 forest and 7 mountains. The reason for that is because if we're taking a look at our pipped cards, we have a lot more double white pips than we do anything else. There's Detention Chariot, Spectacular Pileup. There are other things like Full Throttle that have double red pips, but we have a lot more that have multiple white pips, like this Cavalier of the Sun with 3 white pips. So we need to make sure that we have our planes to be able to play those cards and to do all the fun stuff. Out of the gate, this Sama deck is ranging at $171.92. So not bad at all. I mean, we have a whole commander deck ready to go, as well as more than double what we have here in our deck for other cards. So we can build a whole other deck and still have leftover cards. So the fact that we're getting this much of a value out of a deck is really good, I think. And I'm really excited to do some upgrades. So that's going to be a next video, so you can hang out with us. Make sure you subscribe if you'd like to check out what upgrades I'm going to be doing into our Samut deck. Obviously, we're going to do some fun cycling shenanigans, which means a lot of crazy creatures are going to be bumping in. So out of the gate, I think this is a really fun deck. Thank you so much for hanging around. I really appreciate it. Make sure you like and subscribe to hang out in the community. But as always, happy gaming. See you guys next time.